Hi everybody, Armoured Pants here, and I have another Advanced Blitz gaming guide for you. This one is Advanced Scouting, or how to scout like a pro. Now this will be a giveaway video, so there will be one of myself and Littlefinger's 8 Halloween spooky words contained in here. Find it, write in the comment section along with your IGN and the server you play on. Subscribe to myself, Littlefinger, and our Discord channels, and then you are in with a chance to win one of our 8 fabulous giveaway prizes. Now, all the links to myself and Littlefinger's channels will be in the description, so please go along there if you don't know how to find us. Now, first things first, right? This is an advanced Blitz tutorial, so it's not a beginner's guide to scouting. So I'm going to assume that you know all about spotting mechanics and all that. If you don't, go and have a look at the light tank guide that we have on channel here in the advanced gaming playlist, because that's very important, but it's all explained there. Now, light tank is best for scouting, right? Medium tanks can do it too, but light tanks are best because a light tank has a toolbox. It has the toolbox for scouting. That toolbox is essentially its speed, its camouflage numbers, the fact that it has the view range superior to most other tanks. Its concealment numbers are higher as well, so it's much more difficult to spot, and those concealment numbers remain when it's moving. They don't decrease, and it's the only tank type that has that. So basically you need to plan your opening based on the fact that you have this toolbox and that you are going to go and spot up the enemy and help your team. You also need to check the setup, by the way, because what we're going to do here, as I said, is advanced scouting. So you need to make sure there isn't a super unicorn player on the other team, or a legion player, Pramo, Immortals, any of those super unicorn clans, because then you may come a cropper. But if you're playing against us, mere mortals, then you execute your plan as we are going to have a look in the gameplay here, and you will get your scouting and patrol duty medals. Now, as we have discussed many times on channel, getting a patrol duty medal or a scout badge, scout medal is an indication, the clearest indication that you're playing light tanks well and doing your job well, right? Here we are in a light tank, we're in the Krill Twist, Bavarian Bulldog, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to notice something here. So we're going to let it play out in real time, then we're going to go back and analyze it, right? Now, generally when you're scouting, normally what light and medium tanks do is they go up the light and medium tank channel, right? That's different on different maps, but you know, as you play the game, get more experience, you know where those channels are, right? So on this map, it's the left channel, right? Going to A is the heavy channel. But what I do here is I go down the middle. Why? Well, going down the middle brings you into closer proximity with the enemy, so it's more dangerous, but it also means you can spot them up. And here we go. Our first customer, P44 Pantera, spotted up, right? In this game, we're going to spot up nearly all the enemy tanks and get the scouting medal. You need to get this. You need to spot up 5 of the enemy tanks minimum to get a scouting medal. Now you can see already I have the purple ribbon for scouting. So job done. We are only 25 seconds into the game, and my job is done. I've already delivered the scouting medal. Now, apart from the fact that you have spotted up the enemy, which means your team know where they are, which means that your team now can put damage into the enemy, you also completely fuck up whatever plan they had at the start. They are not expecting you to come in down the middle, spot them up, light them up like a fucking Christmas tree, and you know, oftentimes they panic or they get annoyed, they get pissed off with you, and they come after you, right? Now here we are, right? We're exactly 1 minute into the game. I've spotted up nearly all the enemy, right? We're putting damage into them, and I've already done 500 damage, right? Perfect start to the game. Plus, I've completely thrown them into disarray, because whatever plan they had at the start is now dissipated, right? Because they've seen me, right? So some of them might decide to come after you, some change direction, some get isolated, like the Jagdpanther 2 here. He's completely isolated. I'm going to capture this base, and then I'm going to go and take him out. Because when he's isolated by a light tank like this, he doesn't really have a chance. He knows that. He's trying to get out of there. I track him. He uses a repair kit, and he's off, but I'm going to go after him. I'm not going to let him get away because he's a big gun. He's quite a dangerous tank, so I'm going to go and take him out. Now, I took 1 hit on the way, but, you know, that's more than happy to do that, because I've taken out, you know, big gun from their team. Now I've taken out one of their most dangerous tanks for me, which is the auto-reloading Pantera. And now look at this. This game is over. It's not even 2 minutes in. And it's down to basically my actions at the start. Now, it's not about all the damage I do, but as we've discussed before, Blitz is a team game, right? And every tank has a role. We discussed this in the last video we just posted, right? About doing your job and not doing your job, right? Now here, this is, you know, a really, really good example of how to be a scout. To get that scout badge, you know, to do the job for your team. And basically when you do that, if you're playing against players of equal skill, of course, I mean if you have 7 unicorns on the other team it's going to be different, but if you're playing against teams of equal skill, then 99% of the time you're going to win. You can see here from the XP score how important my contribution was, you know, because you know, one mistake that players often make is they talk about damage, etc. If they don't do big damage, they don't think they've contributed. That's not true. XP is the clearest indication of how much you've contributed to your team winning, or how much you've contributed to your team's overall activity. And you can clearly see there that I've had the most influence on the game and the most effect as a team player. And I've delivered that scout badge too. Now, can you do this all the time? No, you can't, right? So for example, if Meaty69 or his Royal Fatness or there's a Legion platoon on the other team, don't fucking do this because you're going to die, right? But when you're playing against normal players, of course you can do it, right? Now we're going to have a look at some more gameplay. And again, the same thing. It's on a different map, it's the same tactics, right? So I'm going to check the setup, make sure that there's no super unicorn players waiting for me on the other team. There's not. Again, I'm in the perfect tank for this. T71, really small, light tank. You know, great camo numbers. It's really small target, very difficult to hit. And again, I do the same thing, right? Now this is a map with 4 channels on a base here, A, B, C, D. But the middle channel again is this, right? Up to B, across, cut across B. Ping, 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 spot up the enemy, and now we're going to go in and start capturing the base after already getting the scouting badge. Let's have a look at it again and we'll talk through it in a bit of detail, right? So I've checked the setup and I'm going hell for leather, like a bat out of hell, towards B. But I'm not going to cap B, I'm not going to stop moving, because one of your greatest assets as a light tank is your speed. Trying to hit a moving target like the T71 at that speed is really difficult. You can see here, first customer, boom, first ribbon for spotting. As I go through B, but I'm going to cut across, I'm not going to stop. Boom, 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 there we go. Purple ribbon already. Scouting badge delivered, and we are, what, 24 seconds into the game and already have the scouting medal, the scout medal delivered. Right. Now I'm going to go and cap. So this is more or less, you know, perfect execution of an opening game sequence by a light tank in the cap C. So I'm doing loads of things to help my team here. I've spotted up all the reds. My team know where they are. Now they can start putting in damage or avoid taking damage. And capturing the base. And in the first minute of this game, we have effectively won it, right? So here we are, 45 seconds into the game, and this game is more or less already won. Even though it's still 7 tanks to 7 tanks. Because we know where they are, and they don't know where we are. They only know where I am, that's it. And I'm just a small little medium tank with a small gun. They don't know where all of our big guns and where the other 6 of my teammates are. We know where they are, and now of course we can start executing. And again, as I said in the previous game, you've thrown them into disarray, right? Whatever plan they had now is just not working, right? Because they've been spotted up and they're really kind of like having to rethink, move on the fly. And you know, players, you know, the thing is, right, you're a team, but it's 7 individual players. It's 7 people making individual decisions. Now you can agree on something at the start, but once you make contact with the enemy, as Van Clausewitz said, no plan survives first contact with the enemy, right? I think I mistakenly said it was Rommel, and I think he was just paraphrasing Van Clausewitz. I think I said it was Rommel in another video that we looked at before, but actually it was Van Clausewitz. I think one of my subscribers actually pointed that out, so cheers for that, mate. But anyway, it doesn't really matter who said it, right? It's very, very true, right? And if you contact them first, if you make first contact, then you dictate the battle. And as we said, it's 7 players making 7 individual decisions, and you force them to make decisions once they are spotted up and once you know where they all are. You force them to maybe adopt a different strategy, adapt different tactics, and basically mess up their whole plan, whatever that might have been at the start. If you don't do anything, you just sit back and let them execute their plan, then you're playing to their game plan, right? And they have a better chance of winning the game. But by going out and scouting, then and spotting them up, then you really, really put the pressure on them, and you can win games more often than not. Now, is this something that everybody can do? No. This is advanced scouting. This is not beginner scouting. So please look at the light tank guide that we have on channel here. I am going to put a copy of the link in description as well. That gives you all the basics, but you really need to be a good light tank player, comfortable with your tank, comfortable with controlling a tank at high speed, comfortable with map awareness, spotting and concealment mechanics and all of that before you try this. Because this is much more dangerous. There's much more risk attached with this than there is with just going down the light and medium tank channel and doing your standard spotting and scouting, right? Of course there is, because you're going to come in contact with more enemy tanks earlier in the game and you're not going to have any backup. So please don't try this at home if you are just beginning, right? Because it won't work and you'll die more often and you're going to start blaming me, and we don't want that, right? Because I love you guys and I want you guys to get better. I don't want you getting murdered on the battlefield because of me. But you know, when you are comfortable, then this is the next level that you want to go to, where you get those scouting badges on a regular basis and you're having a huge influence on the game, generating that huge amount of XP, which shows that you are a really, really good Blitz player. And that's basically let's say the objective that we want to aim for, right? So even if you're only beginning now, though, now you have a look at where you want to go, and then you know the steps that you need to take to get there, and it's going to be a fun journey. You're going to have great fun because light tanks are just great fun to play. Now let's have a recap. So spotting is the most important job in the game, in my opinion, bar none, right? And light tanks are the most influential tanks that there can be on the battlefield, and utilizing that and spotting and scouting is the key to winning. Now the standard sort of tactics are you go down the medium light channel in your light tank or medium tank to spot, right? And that's fine when you're beginning, right? But if you want to take your scouting and spotting to the next level and make those scouting badges a regular thing, the middle channel is better because it brings you into proximity with both sides of the map quicker and you have a much better chance of spotting the enemy. But as I said, this is advanced gameplay. If you're only beginning this, please don't try this because it's not going to work for you. But this is where you want to get to. If you are, very comfortable now with light tanks, this is the next step for you, right? So this is what you want to do. This is where you want to go. This is how to be a pro. So cheers much, thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful, I hope you found it enjoyable, and I guess now all that remains for me to say is pants off.
That's all, folks.